Hey everyone, welcome to Marketing for Designers podcast. I'm your host, Masha Coyne, a messaging strategist and a copywriter for the interior design industry. I've been marketing for what feels like forever in my past career at some of the biggest global firms like KPMG and Deloitte. Today, I write website copy for designers using my signature voice of customer framework. If you're a designer looking to up your marketing game and attract premium clients, this podcast is for you. Each week on the show, we're going to be talking all things marketing, from branding to messaging to social media, SEO, and so much more. So you can have all the tools you need to grow your business and attract your dream clients. All right, welcome back to Marketing for Designers podcast. So every week I chat with either a marketing expert, an interior designer, or it's just you and I. And today I bring you an expert. So this week we're talking about building a personal brand through video content. Such a great topic and something every interior designer should be doing to grow their business. And my guest today to talk about it is Alessya Baggetta. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Alessya is a founder of Alessya Baggetta Designs, a Toronto-based creative agency inspired to create brand experiences with purpose. Alessya partners with businesses and entrepreneurs to create meaningful designing creative content with a goal to empower your brand and showcase your influence. Her agency offers creative design and marketing services, including branding, web design, social media marketing, and content creation. So, welcome to the show, Alessya.
Hi, Masha. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm super excited to dive into this discussion.
Me too. This is going to be awesome. I love this topic and I love it for two reasons. Number one, because personal brand is so important for interior designers. And I feel like there's been so much buzz in the last couple of years around building a personal brand, why you should do it, how to do it, and all of that. And I get it. It's a competitive market and you've got to differentiate yourself, and having that solid personal brand helps you do that. It helps build trust, attract better clients, and so many more things. But the second thing I love this topic is because video is just so much more impactful these days. It's like storytelling, but amplified. So I can't wait to hear your perspective on that. So why don't we get started and maybe start with, what is content creation?
Yeah, great question. So, a lot of people assume that content creation refers to materials such as graphics or articles, but in this case, we're specifically talking about video content creation. So, essentially, at the end of the day, video is so powerful nowadays on social media, and it's what is really attracting people to buy and invest their time and money into you. So content creation is, in this case, the form of video. And the way we go about that is setting up a content day, getting a strategy in place, filming purposeful, intentional content that converts. And the keyword here is converts. So we're not just filming fluff. We're not just filming, beautiful kitchens. We're actually, putting in that intention behind the scenes so that the audience actually can get a little bit of an insight into who you are as the founder. What's the purpose behind your design, why you do the things you do and the way you do them. And it just creates that sort of relationship and that conversation starter, which is really important as well.
I love the idea of the content day. This is cool. I feel like it's so different and it seems like such an intentional and strategic activity. Can you maybe walk us through, what does content day look like, or what does it start with?
Yeah, absolutely. So we kick it off with a strategy call, which is the most important thing. First and foremost, we really want to get an understanding of who is your clientele. Who are you servicing? Is it an older, more mature audience? Is it young couples? Who are you speaking to? Then we want to learn more about the type of style and design and all the ins and outs of your business, right? So are you more, rustic? Are you modern, contemporary? Because that plays a huge part into the video content itself as well, and the editing part. Once we build out a strategy and a shot list, we'll provide you with full direction, inspiration, trendy audios if they align, and then we come in and we shoot everything. We go back, we edit all the reels for you so that you're provided with everything. You don't have to worry about it. It's a very seamless process. And now you have, let's say, 15, 20, 25 videos that you can now share with your audience.
That's amazing. Seems like you're giving people, or specifically interior designer, like a bank of content to then repurpose and cross promote across different channels. Or is
Exactly.
it mostly Instagram, or how do they then take this?
Primarily, yeah. So right now, primarily we're focusing on Instagram. They can also repurpose this content on TikTok as well, because it's going to be in the same dimension. If they want to create content for YouTube, that's a discussion that we'll have because then it's a different formatting.
So, how do you think content creation helps, like doing all of these things and the content day and all of these videos? How does it help build personal brand for interior designers?
Great question. So I would say first and foremost, it allows the interior designer to engage with their audience in a more dynamic and visual way, as opposed to the generic, photos that we typically see or carousels that we see of a photo dump. This actually allows the audience, it captures the audience attention a lot quicker. We only have 7 seconds to really capture someone's attention. And if you have a really good hook at the start of your video, or you have really good text that attracts the audience that's watching it, you're already in, right? Like that audience is already engaged in your content and now they're going to actually binge your content. It's like a Netflix show.
I like the idea of a hook. We use the same in copywriting, like starting with that first line, that the most engaging, kind of very irresistible to consume. How do you like, what's a good hook in a video?
Right off the bat, hitting someone with that pain point is a really good hook. So, for instance, if a client is struggling to find space in their small home, and you've now created a beautiful space that you've now, reconstructed and redesigned, and now you can showcase this, boutique home downtown Toronto, utilizing the most amount of space possible. And that hook is, do you lack space in your home? Do you feel like you're outgrowing your home? Here's how we can help. So
Hmm.
something like that, where you're hitting that audience with that pain point, but then turning it into a positive and then having that call to action, right? So here's how you can work with us. Here's how we can help you.
Hmm. Are there different types of videos that you help your clients create? Like, can you give me a couple of examples of what kind of videos you guys create in this very strategic process?
Yeah, absolutely. So the most common video that we will create is speaking videos. So this is where the designer is actually speaking to the camera, speaking about the process, speaking about the home, giving away tips and tricks, making themselves look like an industry leader. That is, I would say, the most common piece of content we create at every content creation day. This really helps bring out that personality in the interior designer. So they're not hiding behind their images or hiding behind their article features. The second most common piece of video content would be the walkthroughs, the features of the home, the beauty, the aesthetic, getting all, the cool cabinetry or the hidden nooks designed in the home. So we like to capture that as well. And sometimes our clients will then do a voiceover explaining, what it is that we're actually looking at. So again, there's that connection and there's that personality. The third type of content that we create, I like to call it more entertaining content. So this is when, we use the fun voiceovers that are trendy or the trendy audio. This only happens if it resonates with the client and their audience. So we're really picky with this because we don't want to just throw a trendy audio. It doesn't work for everyone. We don't want to use a trendy voiceover just because, in March there's one trendy voiceover and in April maybe it's not a trend anymore. So we're really strategic in that sense, but if it does work and we feel like it's a good fit, then we'll do those types of videos.
So, yeah, I would imagine it won't resonate with everyone, hence the getting to know phase in your process and kind of understanding who's the audience that you're trying to attract and engage, and what kind of
Exactly.
brand voice and personality, and how do you want to portray yourself in the in the eyes of your
E-
ideal clients.
Exactly. I would also say the last piece of content that we tend to create too are the transformation. So the before and afters that we see. So we do see a lot of, swipe left to see the before or the after. But when you show that through a video, it's so much more powerful. So what we actually do is we'll capture the before during the construction phase. So we'll actually come in, we'll get the befores, we'll get the designer talking about the process, and then we'll get the after. And it's just so much more again, like just so much more powerful. You're able to see the transformation and you're able to actually feel the emotion coming from the designer when they walk you through that process.
I like that. When would you say would be the right time to kind of involve you in that? Because I would imagine for these kind of for the transformation kind of videos, they want to get you in a couple of times, right? In the beginning of the
Yeah.
process, when they're just starting the project, and then at the end. But what's the ideal time, depending on what kind of video they want to obviously
Yeah,
go for?
exactly. So it all depends on, I mean, as we know, construction can take months or even years. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really hard to say, even coming from a designer, like when the project is going to be completed because things always happen, right? So we always suggest having us come on site at least 2 or 3 times before, and then coming on site when it's finalized and you're having your photo day, because then you're kind of killing, you're hitting two birds with one stone. So when you are having your final project photograph, that's when we can come in. Everything is already staged. You don't have to do double the work, and then we can take the after shots of the home that you finalized.
Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming you help clients kind of determine what it is that they need to prepare for that content day, and what are some of the props they may need, or what else is involved, or maybe it's a studio, maybe it's a client site, or whatever it is. So you help them determine all of these things.
Absolutely. So we will send them a very in-depth shot list that not only covers the video that we're capturing, but also anything beyond that. We also give guidance to our clients on styling, what we think they should wear to complement the space, what props they should bring. If we want them to bring their laptop, for example, or a clipboard that has their branded sticker on it, just the little things that also brings that brand awareness to the audience that is going to be watching.
Such a good idea having this shot list. And just a bit of a side note, for like, I work with clients, with interior designers on their website copy. And obviously they work, well, not obviously, but sometimes they work with a web designer. Other times they're kind of DIYing their own website. But I feel like such an amazing idea to have that shot list before they build their website, because now they've got this content, because that the web designer is probably going to request, images and content to kind of populate your site. So having that shot list
For
is such a
sure.
great idea. Yeah, awesome. So,
Exactly.
okay, so this service sounds pretty incredible for interior designers. Let's say they can't hire you, or they're not ready yet. What are some of the tips that you could share for interior designers if they wanted to create this kind of thing on their own, like to create their own content?
Absolutely. So if you're in a situation where you're not able to outsource just yet, that's okay. You still have the opportunity to do this yourself, and it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. I would say, first things first, sit down with your team if you have one, and you really want to start strategizing. So start taking down notes and create a plan of action, a shot list, including, what is it that you're filming? What is it that you're saying? Create those scripts to help guide you. What are the outfits that you're going to be wearing? And then always trace it back to what's the purpose behind this video, right? You want to make sure that you have intention. And of course, where is the location? Where are you filming this? Once you do the whole strategizing and the plan of action, I would say, sorry. Step two is,
Hmm.
if you don't already have it, invest in some minimal equipment. You don't need to go crazy. As long as you have a tripod, you can get a wireless microphone off Amazon, a ring light. And if you want to take it to the next step, you can get a gimbal, which is basically a stabilizer. If you're doing walkthroughs, you can put your phone on it and it'll stabilize all your videos if you have shaky hands like me.
Hmm.
Then all of that can be purchased on Amazon. So it'll literally come to your door tomorrow, which is a good thing. So if you're pressed for time, you can purchase that on Amazon. And then once you have all that equipment, you're going to want to prep and practice for the content day. So practice those scripts, get comfortable, talk to yourself in the mirror if this is the first time that you're doing something like this. And then the day of, you can, if you're by yourself, that's okay, because you can set everything up on your tripod and film it yourself. I would also recommend, if you do have a team member to come and assist you, that would be ideal as well. Once you're done the actual content day, then you go into phase three, which is editing. So when it comes to editing, people get super overwhelmed. Now you have all this amazing content, but they don't know what to do with it and they don't know how to start. So I would suggest, with the very basic, you can download an app called InShot or CapCut. They're free. However, if you do want to use more of their tools and capabilities on their app, then I would say that's when you have to purchase a subscription. It's about $10 a month. I would say try it out for free. I think they offer a free trial of 14 days. See how you like it. If you're ready to make that small investment, then go for it. If it's a tool that you know you're going to be utilizing.
I want to make sure that we're gonna list those apps and tools in the show notes after. So maybe you'll send
Perfect.
me the exact names. Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll send
cool.
you everything. InShot and CapCut are pretty good basic editing tools. CapCut has a little bit more features than InShot. If you're an expert and want to take it to the next level, that's when you would use Adobe Premiere Pro. I believe they also offer a free trial, but it is a little bit more pricey. A lot of professionals use this editing program as well, but you're safe to start with InShot or CapCut, and your videos will come out just as beautiful. Another really good tool that I love is called Captions. So I don't know if you've seen videos on Instagram where they transcribe with the person or what the individual is actually saying. This is done through AI through an app called Captions. So you can edit the styling of the transcription, the font, the color, make it align with your brand guidelines and brand styling. It'll transcribe your full video, and you can also add AI music that it'll generate for you. This app also has a free trial, and then once the free trial is up, you have the option if you want to subscribe for a subscription.
That's cool. And I think captions are also available through Instagram. I know I do my own videos with that, but that's in stories, right? So this is a little
So
different.
yeah,
That's when
so
you
that's in
overlay it.
stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the Captions app, it's a little bit more intermediate in terms of the capabilities and the look and feel because you can customize the font, the color. You can also customize your video. So if you've ever seen a video where it seamlessly starts to zoom into the person's face and zoom out, some of those things can be done through Captions. There's a lot of AI on the back end, which is super cool too, because it just makes the editing process that much easier for you.
I love it. AI to the rescue again. That's
Always.
cool. All right. So what's after editing? Is there anything else? Or is this the last step?
So I would say once you're done editing, the next step is actually executing everything. So it's one thing to film, it's one thing to edit, but then what? If you don't end up going to the next phase, then you've done all that work for nothing. So the next phase would really be building out a content calendar for yourself, getting a scheduling app like Planoly or Later or Facebook Business Manager. You can use that as well, or Canva also schedules as well. Getting all your videos and content scheduled into your monthly calendar and executing it, posting it, publishing, and following up. I will also say if you want to take it to the next step, it's really important to track those analytics and see what's working, what's not working, so that the next time you shoot content, you know exactly what has worked in the past and you won't duplicate what hasn't worked.
I like that there is a process with that, like a step-by-step process. I am wondering, in your experience, where do interior designers or service providers get stuck more often? At
I would
which
say,
stage?
yeah, no, that's a great question. I think both phase one, just getting started, people like to overcomplicate things and it gets in their head, right? Anytime we want to start something, we have sort of like this hesitation, right? If we want to start going to the gym or we want to start a new hobby or start reading, we have this hesitation. So the first thing is just get started. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated. Even if you just film 5 videos, it doesn't you don't need to be filming 30 videos your first shot. Just getting started is that I would say the main hurdle for a lot of people, and then the editing process as well. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people get overwhelmed once they, have to learn a new tool that they've never used before and use a new app. And they're not an expert, but if you do want to do it yourself, give it a try. There's lots of free tutorials online. We're blessed with YouTube and TikTok that shows us how to do everything. So I would say just try it out. And then if you really, really get stuck and you're at that point in your business where you are able to invest in a professional to do this for you, then that's when you can take that next step.
I like that. I want to take you back for 1 second to the first step, the strategy, like strategizing and understanding what it is that you're creating, what kind of video it is, what kind of messaging. Do you have any tips in terms of what should designers, like, let's say they're ready to do this, they know they want content, video content is the way to go. Where are they starting? Like, are there certain questions or prompts that they should be asking themselves as a starting point in this, like a strategizing process?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say for a lot of people want to see more of the behind the scenes, right? So that's a good place to start. So giving your audience a glimpse into, your design process, for example, or showcasing to your audience even, when you're putting together a presentation for a client, what are the steps that goes into that and what does that look like? Show how you source inspiration, how you create mood boards, how you collaborate with clients, how you manage projects from, start to finish. Just showing that behind the scenes is a really good start to inviting people into your personal business, and also inviting people to see your personality, right, and create those conversations.
I like that. So many ideas already. I noted down, and I'll make sure to put them in the show notes. Such a great starting point. I think we covered tools, we covered apps, equipment you recommend using. You've given us some tips. Is there anything else that could help designers get started and just experiment?
Yeah, the main thing is stick to it and be consistent. So if you're going to start filming, maybe it's that once a month on the first Monday of every month, or the last Monday of every month. You set a day, you set a couple hours, and you focus on this portion of your business because it is super transformational and impactful, and it will make a huge difference in your marketing.
Would you recommend batching content creation, or do you do kind of as you go, like you said, I've got a couple of hours every Monday and that's what I'm going to do? Would you kind of batch it, like, let's say I'll do 3 videos today?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say if you're already dressed and ready to go, you have your equipment set up, you're at a location, utilize that time as much as possible. So if you can batch 5, 10, 15 videos and you only have to do that once a month, that's amazing. As opposed to, every single week trying to schedule time and squeeze it into your schedule to create videos and scripts. And that's when it's going to feel overwhelming. But if you can dedicate, one day a month, you sit down, you do everything all at once, maybe you spend 5, 6 hours, you're going to end up having a lot more content than if you try and squeeze it into your busy schedule.
That's right. And obviously, I feel like that's the obvious thing, but you want to like recycle, rinse and repeat, and continuously recycle these
Yeah.
videos, right? You're not just posting it once, because I feel like that's what a lot of people, that's where the mistake is. People, create this content, then they post it once and that's about it. But you
Yeah.
want to, obviously, you want to post it a couple of times, a few times probably.
Yeah, and it's almost like every time you have a content day, you're just adding more to that portfolio of how much content that you have that you can then repurpose. So for example, if at every location you're capturing a kitchen, now you can make another reel that says our top 3 favorite kitchens and showcase one from each location. So it's not just, you shot at this kitchen 5 months ago, you posted that video, now you're calling it a day, you can never use it again. It's actually how can we be strategic and use what we already have so that we can do less work in the future?
I like that. Alessia, tell me something. Should there be a mix between personal and professional? Because when you're building a personal brand, it's not just professional. You're also putting yourself out there. You're also kind of letting people into your life, into your business. But should there be like a mix, like 20% personal, 80% business?
Yeah, I don't know if I have an exact percentage to give you right now, but I definitely would say it doesn't hurt to show the personal side of you. That's what people want. That's what makes you a unique factor compared to another designer. Like there's so many incredible designers, especially here in Toronto, that it's how can we make you stand out versus someone else if everyone's work is so beautiful and powerful? And that's where the personal branding comes in, showing your personality, showing your interests, maybe your hobbies on the weekend. Maybe you do a Pilates class on Sunday. Someone sees it. Now they resonate with that. There's a conversation starter, and then they end up becoming your client. Not to say that will happen every single time. That's the best case scenario, but it definitely does help to bring in that personal side into your marketing strategy.
I love that. I completely agree with that because at the end of the day, we're connecting with people behind your brand. We're not really connecting with your business. Oftentimes, yes, we do, but it's finding something that resonates. That's what connects us all. So I love that. I love that
100%.
advice. Cool. All right. So this was amazing. I would love to ask you something that I ask every guest on the podcast. What's the one thing you implemented in your business that has been a game changer?
I love this question. And the first thing that came to mind is systems and automations from when I started my business about 4 or 5 years ago, but actually being full time for about 3 years now. The main thing that saved me so much time is having those systems in place. So I use Dubsado in my business and it almost does everything for us. It does our contracts, our invoices. You can book a call through Dubsado. We have intake forms through Dubsado. And that just saves us a lot of manual admin work. It does it for us. And then having those automations. So on our website, for example, we have some sections where you can subscribe to our email list. Once you subscribe, you get an automatic welcome email, and then you're pulled into a welcome journey. So we're staying top of mind for our clients, and you'll receive those automatic emails, 3 days after, 5 days after, 7 days after. I can't remember the exact schedule, but
Mhm.
just little things like that really help your business stand out. And once you do it once and you set it up, it's golden because then you can go back and refine it. But it saves you so much time because then you don't have to always manually send, welcome emails or manually send a link to book a call. So systems and automations are literally everything to our business right now. And it has changed our processes and just made such a good impact.
I love it. I couldn't agree more. I'm a systems and processes girl, so I'm with you on that 100%. Okay, that's cool. So, Alessya, this has been wonderful. If people want to reach out, how can they find you? Let's say they want to work with you or just want to get to know your processes a little bit more.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Alessya Baggetta Designs. Or if you want to reach out and fill out an inquiry on our website, you can head over to alessyabagettadesigns.com. We have an inquiry form on our contact page, and then we'll set up a free 15-minute discovery call and get to know you and your business.
I love it. Alessya, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Masha. This was such a good experience.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Marketing for Designers. This is Masha Cohen signing off. See you next week.